Now, before we go to a break, I wanted to just give you a heads up on this story that's popped up. A few people actually sent this into our feedback line, and you haven't seen this one yet.
No.
It features one of our favourite characters on Mysterious Universe, Aleister Crowley, the famed, well, once dubbed by the media, the world's most evil man in the 30s. Apparently, the curse of Tutankhamun may have been the work of a Satanist killer, and they've actually pinned this on the notorious Satanist Aleister Crowley.
Hang on. You mean the Tutankhamun curse where people just died from mosquito bites and lights went out all around Cairo?
Right. Throughout the 1920s and 1930s, London was gripped by the mythical curse of Tutankhamun.
It sank the Titanic.
Yeah, his tomb was uncovered by British archaeologist Howard Carter. More than 20 people linked to the opening of the pharaoh's burial chamber in Luxor in 1923 bizarrely died over the following years, 6 of them in the capital. Now, at the time, frenzied press blamed the curse of Tutankhamun for the deaths and speculated on the supernatural powers of the ancient Egyptians. But Mr. Bainan, who's the author of this new book, has now drawn on previously unpublished evidence to conclude the deaths were all ritualistic killings masterminded by Crowley, an occultist once dubbed the wickedest man in the world.
That's a pretty tall claim.
After unique analysis of Crowley's diaries, essays and books and inquest reports, the armchair detective argues that he was a Jack the Ripper obsessed copycat killer. Crowley, who called himself the Great Beast, apparently had his own motives to tarnish the legacy of Carter's legendary discovery. The gods and goddesses of Crowley's own religious philosophy, Thelema, were mainly drawn from ancient Egyptian religion. He believed himself to be a prophet of a new age of personal liberty controlled by the ancient Egyptian god Horus. It is likely that he would have found Carter's excavation sacrilegious and wanted revenge. That actually makes sense to me. If you think about it, I mean, all of Crowley's black arts, they really did stem from this ancient Egyptian religion.
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
So, yeah, it makes sense that he would want revenge for the plundering of the boy king's tomb.
But to murder all those people and then make it look like a bizarre accident?
Well, the book is called London's Curse, Murder, Black Magic and Tutankhamun in the 1920s West End. Mr. Bainan pins 7 deaths on Crowley, 6 of which took place in London. So he has this, one of the guys that died, Raoul Loveday, was this 23-year-old Oxford undergraduate. He died on the same day at the very hour of Carter's much publicised opening of Tutankhamun's burial chamber.
Right.
So it was almost like it was timed that he would die, right? So,
how could you time it that well?
But listen to this. He died after drinking the blood of a cat sacrificed in one of Crowley's rituals. And Bainan argues that he was deliberately poisoned.
But wouldn't an autopsy have shown? I guess they wouldn't have the advanced toxicology technology back then.
It goes through a list of all these deaths and how Crowley was involved. Like in some of the cases, he hired someone to do it, or there was an elaborate ploy to put someone in the right place at the right time. And they say that he even went to a point to organize the locations of the murders into a pentagram, which was argued that Jack the Ripper did the same thing with his victims, and that Crowley was a big fan of Jack the Ripper and essentially tried to copy what he did.
If that's true, that makes him an absolute murderous genius. Like, absolutely incredible. I mean, it's hard enough to kill someone as it is and make it look like an accident. Imagine organising it and orchestrating it that way.
Well, it's bizarre how many of the topics that we cover on Mysterious Universe are somehow linked with Crowley. Like, even if you think of the Greys, right?
Yeah.
Extraterrestrial Greys. One of the first times that a Grey type entity was seen.
Was that Lamb?
Yeah, Lam.
Lam, right.
Was
Lam.
with this session with Crowley and his psychic. And then this Lam appeared, which looked like a modern day Grey. And that was back in the early 1900s.
I just love it how they've kind of really slanted him here. They're like the bisexual heroin addict. Okay.
Yeah. And also, remember in Nick Redfern's Men in Black book, Crowley was related to the appearance of the Loch Ness Monster because he owned a house on the lake and was performing black magic rituals, and then all these sightings of the Loch Ness Monster appeared.
So was it a case that Crowley just had so much money because he was born into a very wealthy family that he had just so much money that he was creating his own fun?
Yeah, money to burn and
Yeah.
lots of time
Time on
to
his
spend
hands.
and lots of books to read and black magic rituals to perform.
Yeah, why not?
Sounds like fun. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about some strange goings-ons in the outback of Australia. Stay with us.